I used to fly back from Maui to Oahu. And on one of my first flights back to Oahu from Maui, I was sitting next to this young man from Molokai. I think he was a junior in high school. And as we approached Honolulu, he looked out the window and he said, "Concrete jungle.
Yeah.
They live like rats down there." And I will never forget that because, of course, he thinks I'm coming from Maui because I'm like, oh, I'm flying to Oahu for work. But actually, I grew up in the concrete jungle. I lived like a rat down there.
Yeah.
And I think about high-rise condos, right? So Kaka'ako is sort of infamous. People are like, there are no lights on at night. It's all foreign speculators. There's no locals that live there. One, that's not true. I live there. And
I live here.
I have neighbors that live there who work in all sorts of diverse professions, right? People that work in healthcare, people that work in business, people that work in nonprofits who live in my building or live in the building next to mine. Two, like what was there before? So let's assume that like 80% of the units in the building that I live in are owned by Japanese people or Brazilians or Chinese people, and only 20% are owned by local. It used to be a CompUSA. It went out of business. That's why it's not there. So we look at this condo, and I talk to people all the time who are like, oh my God, they built all those condos, right? I'm like, the condos replaced Pier 1. Right? The condos replaced CompUSA. Nobody was protesting when CompUSA closed. Like, please don't close CompUSA. Nobody loved CompUSA. Now there are hundreds of people that live there, including me and my neighbors. I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. Would it be great if instead of there being 80% units that are occupied by people who are just here part of the year? For sure. Would it be great if it were all local families, all working families? Yes, I would much prefer that. We have to be careful about the comparison, right? The comparison is not like that building versus another building. The comparison is that building versus the CompUSA that was there. And nobody misses the CompUSA. Most people don't even remember it being a CompUSA.